Once upon a time, there was a very rich man who had 3 sons. When he felt like he was going to die, he shared his money and land equally among them. After he passed away, the king made an announcement throughout the country. He said whoever could build a ship that could float on both land and sea would marry his daughter. The oldest brother heard about this and said to the others, "I want to try building that ship. I'd like to marry the king's daughter." So, he gathered all the shipbuilders in the land and told them to start building the ship right away. Trees were cut down and a lot of preparation was done. Soon, everyone knew what was happening, and many old people came to the yard hoping for work. "Please, give us work so we can earn some food," they said. But the oldest brother spoke harshly to them, "You are old and weak. What good are you?" He sent them away. Then some boys came and asked for work, but he said, "You're too weak. Go away." He didn't want anyone who wasn't already good at building ships. Finally, a little old man with a long white beard knocked on the gate and said, "Can you give me some work so I can earn food?" But the oldest brother chased him away like he did with the others. The ship took a long time to build and cost a lot of money. When it was finally ready and launched, a sudden storm came and broke the ship into pieces. This shattered all the young man's dreams of marrying the princess. He didn't have any money left, so he went back to his brothers and told them what happened. The second brother thought, "He did a bad job, but maybe I can do better and marry the princess myself." He gathered shipbuilders from everywhere and ordered them to build a ship that could float on land and sea. But he was just as harsh as his brother. Anyone who couldn't build well was sent away, even the old man with the long white beard. When the ship was done and launched, everything seemed fine until a strong wind destroyed it on the rocks. The second brother had spent all his money on it and now had nowhere to go. He had to ask his youngest brother for help. The youngest brother thought, "I'm not rich, but I'll try to win the princess." He gathered all the shipbuilders and happily gave everyone work, even the old people and the boys. When the old man with the white beard asked for work, the youngest brother said, "You won't work, but you can supervise." The old man was a hermit and saw the youngest brother's kindness. He decided to help him achieve his dream of marrying the princess. When the ship was done, the hermit told his young friend, "Now you can go to the king and ask for his daughter. The ship can sail on both land and sea." The young man said, "Please stay with me, good father. Lead me to the king." The hermit agreed, but said, "You must promise to give me half of whatever you receive." The young man agreed quickly, "Sure, I promise." And they sailed together on the ship. As they sailed, they saw a man trying to put fog into a sack in a thick fog. "What's he doing, good father?" asked the young man. "Ask him," said the hermit. "What are you doing?" asked the young man. "I'm putting fog into my sack." "It's my job," replied the man. The hermit whispered, "Ask him if he wants to come with us." The man said, "If you give me food and drink, I'll gladly join you." So, they took him on board. The young man said, "Good father, now we're 3 instead of 2. As they sailed further, they saw a man who had chopped down half the forest and was carrying all the trees on his shoulders. "Look, good father." "Why is he doing that?" exclaimed the young man. "Ask him why he's tearing up all those trees," said the young man. The man said, "I'm just gathering some brushwood." "Ask him to come with us," whispered the hermit. The strong man said, "Sure, if you give me food and drink." And he joined them on the ship. The young man told the hermit, "We were 3, and now we're 4. As they sailed on, they saw a man drinking from a stream until it almost dried up.
"Look at that man, good father."
"He drinks a lot," said the young man.
"Ask him why," said the hermit.
"There's nothing strange about drinking water," said the man.
"Ask him to come with us," said the hermit.
The man agreed, "Sure, if you give me food and drink." The young man whispered, "Now we're 5." Further along, they saw a man in the middle of a stream shooting into the water.
"What's he shooting at, good father?"
asked the young man.
"Ask him," said the hermit.
"Shoo. You scared it away?" "There's a quail in the underworld, and I wanted to shoot it."
"That's what I do.
I never miss."
"Ask him to come with us," said the hermit.
The man agreed, "Of course, if you feed me." So they brought him onto the ship, and the young man said quietly, "Before we were 5, and now we are 6." As they sailed, they met a man walking towards them with steps so long that one foot was in the north while the other reached the south.
"Look at him, good father."
"He takes big steps," said the young man.
"Ask him why," said the hermit.
"I'm just going for a walk," said the man.
"Ask him to come with us," said the hermit.
"If you give me plenty of food and drink, I'll come," said the man, climbing onto the ship. The young man whispered, "Before we were 6, and now we are 7." The hermit knew why he gathered these strange people. After many days, they reached the town where the king and his daughter lived. They stopped the ship in front of the palace, and the young man went in and bowed to the king. "O Majesty, I built the ship as you asked. Now let me marry your daughter," he said. But the king thought, "Should I marry my daughter to someone I don't know?" He said aloud, "You must find a runner to take a letter to the ruler of the underworld and bring back an answer in an hour." "That wasn't part of the deal," said the young man. "Your choice, but you won't marry my daughter," said the king. The young man left, troubled, to tell his old friend what happened.
"Silly boy," said the hermit.
"Agree to his terms now. Send the long-legged man with the letter. He'll deliver it quickly." The young man was thrilled and went back to the king. "Your Majesty, I agree. Here's the messenger who will do what you want." The king had to give the man the letter, and he quickly went to the underworld. He found the ruler, who said, "Oh, wait while I write the answer." But the messenger was so tired that he fell asleep and forgot about the letter. The young man anxiously waited for his messenger. "Why's he taking so long?" he asked the hermit as the hour was almost up. The hermit asked the man who never missed a shot to see what was happening. "He's asleep in the underworld." "I'll wake him," said the man. He shot an arrow into the messenger's knee, waking him up. The messenger rushed back so fast that he arrived before the hour was up. The young man thought he'd win his bride, but the king said, "You need to find someone who can drink half my cellar in a day." "That wasn't part of the deal," said the young man sadly. "Your choice, but no daughter for you," said the king. The young man asked the hermit what to do.
"Silly boy.
Ask the man who drinks everything," said the hermit. They asked the man, "Can you drink half the royal cellar in a day?" "Oh yes, and even more if you want," said the man. "I never get full." The king wasn't happy that the man agreed so easily, but he had to do it. The servant was taken downstairs. He drank and drank all day until he finished the whole cellar, not just half. The king said to the young man, "You win. You can marry my daughter. But her dowry will be what one man can carry." But even the strongest man can only carry so much. "That's not enough for a princess," said the young man. "Do as you wish." "It's your problem," said the king. The young man didn't know what to do. He had no money left, and neither did his brothers. He asked the hermit for help.
"Silly boy.
"Bring the man who carried half the forest," said the hermit. The young man called the strong man and told him what to do. "Take everything you can, even if it makes you bend double. Leave the palace empty." The strong man piled everything onto his back, even the king's crown. He carried it all to the ship while the young man led the princess. The king was angry in his empty palace. He called his army and ships to chase the vessel and get back what was taken. The king's ships caught up quickly. The hermit told the young man, "Do you see that?" The young man panicked. "Oh no, good father. They're coming after us." The hermit told him to call the man with the fog. They released the fog and it covered the king's ships. They couldn't see anything and had to turn back to the palace. The young man's ship reached home safely. "Well, here you are again," said the hermit. "Now you can keep your promise to give me half of all you have." "I will gladly do that," said the young man. He divided his treasures, keeping some for himself and giving the rest to his friend. "Good father, it's done," he said when he finished dividing everything. "Done?" exclaimed the hermit. "You forgot the most important thing." "What's that?" asked the young man. "We've divided everything." "The king's daughter," said the hermit. The young man's heart sank because he loved her. But he said, "I promised, and I'll keep my word." He drew his sword to cut her into pieces. When the hermit saw how much he valued his promise, he stopped him. "Stop. She's yours along with all the treasures. I helped you because you were kind to those in need. When you're in need, call me, and I'll come," said the hermit. As he spoke, he touched their heads softly and disappeared. The next day, they had the wedding and the brothers came to celebrate. They all lived happily, remembering the hermit who was a good friend.